Chosen one, I need you to listen carefully. Right now, you may feel surrounded by silence, a quiet that seems to stretch on with no visible signs of progress or movement. It's a stillness that might seem unsettling, even unnerving. But let me tell you this, the silence you're experiencing is not an accident. It is not a sign of something going wrong or of a delay in God's plan. Rather, it is a divine pause, a moment of sacred stillness before everything begins to shift. Just as the ocean grows still before a storm or the earth goes quiet before a quake, so too does the quiet in your life signal that God is about to move in ways you cannot yet comprehend. This is not the end of the journey, it is the preparation for something magnificent. We often mistake silence for stagnation, don't we? When we find ourselves waiting, whether it's for a breakthrough in our careers, our relationships, or our spiritual journey, it can feel as though nothing is happening. Our hearts long for action, for movement, for some sign that what we've been praying for is finally on the way. And yet in this stillness, God is working in ways that are beyond our immediate understanding. In the quiet, He is aligning every piece of the puzzle, orchestrating every detail, preparing the perfect moment for you to step into what He has planned for you. What may feel like waiting is in reality a season of divine preparation. Heaven is holding its breath, getting ready to release something powerful into your life. I know it's not always easy to stay strong during these silent seasons. You might feel like you're stuck in a place where nothing is moving, where doors remain closed, and where the promise you've been holding on to seems distant. But I want to remind you that God does His greatest work in the quiet moments, in the pauses that happen just before the breakthrough. Think of it like this. Have you ever watched a potter at work? The potter doesn't speak or make a sound as they shape the clay. They press and mold with careful precision, working in silence, but everything they're doing is creating something beautiful, something strong. It's the same with you right now. Even though you may not see or hear anything happening on the surface, God is shaping your life in ways you cannot yet perceive. Every moment of stillness is not a time of nothingness. It is a time of divine molding, preparing you for what is about to unfold. Trust the process, chosen one. I know it's hard to remain patient when the waiting feels like it's never going to end. You've been praying, fasting, believing, and yet it seems like the world is standing still around you. But I want to tell you that God's timing is perfect. It's not about when we want something to happen, it's about when we are truly ready for it. You are not being ignored, you are being prepared. Think of the moments before a storm. The sky turns still, the winds die down, and everything seems calm, but deep beneath the surface, there's an energy building, a force gathering that is preparing to move. That's exactly where you are right now. The stillness is the setup for the shaking that is about to come. It may feel like nothing is happening, but underneath the surface, everything is moving into place for your breakthrough. This is the divine pause, a moment of preparation before God moves everything on your behalf. I invite you to lean into this stillness with trust. When you're standing on the edge of breakthrough, it's easy to feel anxious, to wonder if things are ever going to change. But I encourage you to stay strong, to rest in the knowledge that the quiet you're experiencing is not a sign of abandonment. It is God's way of ensuring that when the movement comes, you are ready to receive it. Just like a seed, buried deep in the soil, seemingly forgotten, but every second it is silently growing and preparing to burst forth into new life. So too is God preparing you for something greater. Your time of waiting is not a waste. It is a season where God is deepening your roots, strengthening your foundation, and getting you ready for what's to come. I know it's hard to see it right now, but I promise you this: your season of stillness is not the end of your story. It is the moment before heaven moves everything around you. The pause is not a denial of your promises, it is the final preparation. Heaven is aligning everything, positioning angels, opening doors, and clearing obstacles. The shaking you're about to experience is the evidence that God is about to move mightily in your life. This is not a time to panic or fear. It's a time to trust. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned for something extraordinary. Your time of waiting will soon give way to your time of movement. And when that shaking comes, it will shake everything that can be shaken, but it will also reveal everything that cannot be shaken. And that chosen one is you. You are about to experience a divine shift like never before. In this next part of the journey, I want to explore how God uses stillness to prepare you for movement. How in the quiet He is not only making you ready, but He is also positioning the world around you to line up with your destiny. Heaven has not forgotten you. It's just waiting for the right moment to release you into your purpose. And when that moment comes, it will be undeniable. The shaking is coming, chosen one. But it's not here to harm you. It's here to set you free. And the best part, you're already standing in the place of divine preparation. Keep trusting. Keep waiting, because the silence is about to break. And when it does, everything in your life will begin to move in ways you never expected. Chosen one, as you stand in this moment, you may feel as though you are caught in a season of waiting. The silence around you may feel deafening, as though nothing is moving, and the prayers you've whispered have yet to receive an answer. But let me share this truth with you: this silence is not a punishment, nor is it a sign of delay. It is divine preparation. Heaven uses the stillness to set things in motion, to align every detail, and to prepare you for the breakthrough that is coming. Waiting is not an empty pause. It is a time of sacred preparation, a space where God is positioning you and everything around you for what is about to unfold. When we find ourselves in seasons of stillness, it's easy to assume that nothing is happening. We may question why things aren't moving faster, or why it feels like the world is standing still. But in the divine rhythm of life, waiting is not stagnation. It's God's way of preparing us for something greater, something beyond what we can comprehend in our current understanding. Think of it like the growth of a tree. Beneath the surface, the roots are spreading, gathering strength, preparing the tree to withstand the winds and storms that will come. You may not see the roots, but they are essential to the tree's stability and growth. In the same way, God is using this time to strengthen your foundation, to grow your character, and to prepare your heart for the movement that is about to come. Waiting in God's timing is not a passive activity. It's a time of active preparation where He's refining you, positioning you, and aligning the world around you for your breakthrough. As the psalmist wrote in Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God." The stillness is not a void. It is a sacred space where God works most powerfully. While the world may appear quiet, heaven is stirring beneath the surface, orchestrating every detail, aligning every conversation, every opportunity, every relationship, and every step that will lead you into your destiny. To understand the sacred nature of stillness, we can draw a parallel to the calm before a storm. Just before a powerful storm hits, there is a moment of complete stillness. The winds die down, the air becomes heavy, and the world seems to hold its breath. It's as though everything is holding back, preparing for what's about to unfold. That stillness is not an absence of power. It's the very sign that the storm is coming, and the intensity of what's to follow will be greater than anything we've experienced before. In the same way, the stillness in your life right now is not a sign that nothing is happening. It is a sign that God is preparing you for something powerful. The storm of divine movement is gathering force, and just as the earth grows silent before the quake, God is preparing you for the release of His power into your life. The stillness is the moment before the breakthrough. It is the space where heaven pauses to align everything for your next step. Trust that even when it feels like nothing is moving, God is positioning you in a place of readiness. Let me share a story to illustrate the power of waiting and silence. There was once a woman named Liana. For years, she prayed, fasted, and believed for a breakthrough. But despite her faith, it seemed as though nothing changed. She watched as others moved forward, received their blessings, and experienced the progress she longed for. For months, even years, Liana saw no signs of movement in her own life. It felt as though God had forgotten her, as though her prayers were unanswered. One evening, as she walked home through the rain, she whispered a simple prayer. "Lord, why are you so quiet?" For the first time in weeks, she stopped and listened. The sound of the rain hitting the leaves around her was gentle, rhythmic, and cleansing. It was in that moment that Liana realized heaven had been speaking to her all along, not in loud, dramatic ways, but in the silence. The quiet was not absence, it was a divine strategy. The next morning, the call she had been waiting for arrived. Her season of waiting had ended, and her breakthrough was now in motion. Liana's story reminds us that the waiting seasons are often the prelude to divine movement. What seemed like silence was the sacred pause that was preparing her for the breakthrough that was already on its way. Just like the rain that gently falls, cleansing and nourishing the earth, the silence in our lives is a time of spiritual renewal where God is preparing us for what's next. Chosen one, if you take away one thing from this section, let it be, this silence is not absence, it is divine strategy. God does not waste time in the stillness. He is using this period to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. The waiting is not for nothing, it is for everything. Every moment of silence is a sacred invitation to trust in God's timing and His perfect plan. The stillness is the precursor to the movement, and when God moves, it will be sudden, undeniable, and life-changing. It may feel uncomfortable to wait to sit in the silence, but I want to encourage you to embrace this season. Trust that God is doing something profound in the quiet. He is building your foundation, refining your heart, and aligning everything around you for the moment when the silence breaks and the movement begins. Remember that the calm before the storm is not a sign of nothing happening. It's the preparation for everything that is about to unfold. The pressure you feel, the tension that seems to hang in the air, it's all part of God's plan. It's the slingshot being pulled back, the seed growing beneath the soil, the potter shaping the clay. And when the time is right, everything will move in perfect alignment. Trust the waiting period, chosen one. It is not wasted time. It is sacred preparation for the divine movement that is about to come. Keep standing firm, keep trusting, and know that the silence is not the end. It is the beginning of something beautiful. Chosen one, if there's one truth that I want to embed deep into your spirit, it's this: the silence you are experiencing is not a denial of your desires or a delay in your destiny. It is divine preparation. I know it's easy to get frustrated when everything feels still, when prayers go unanswered, and when nothing seems to be moving. But in God's economy, silence is never an empty space. It is not a waiting room of nothingness, but a divine workshop where God is at work, shaping, refining, and positioning you for the powerful shift that is coming. What might seem like a season of stagnation is actually the most sacred and strategic part of your journey. It's important to understand that silence in God's plan is never meant to harm you, it's meant to prepare you. God's silence is not an indication that He has forgotten you or that He is ignoring your cries. It's not an act of punishment, but of divine wisdom. Think of the silence as a divine strategy, a way that God uses to position you for the release of His plans in your life. Imagine a teacher who remains quiet during an exam. The silence does not mean that the teacher is not there. It means that the student is being given the space to demonstrate what they've learned. Similarly, God's silence is a space for you to grow, to prepare, and to build your strength in ways that you cannot yet fully understand. God is never idle during these moments of silence. He is working behind the scenes, rearranging circumstances, aligning people, opening doors, and closing others, all for your good. While you wait, God is actively working in ways you cannot see, setting up the perfect conditions for your breakthrough. His silence is a sign of His trust in you, a trust that He is building into you, the endurance, wisdom, and character needed to step into the next phase of your destiny. He is preparing you for the kind of blessings that will require spiritual maturity, and that is why He gives you time to grow before releasing them into your life. To better understand this, let's look at the imagery of the potter shaping the clay. In the book of Jeremiah, we read about the potter's wheel, a powerful image of divine molding. The potter doesn't make a sound as they work. The shaping of the clay happens in silence, but make no mistake, what is happening in that silence is both intentional and powerful. The potter presses down forms and refines the clay, all in preparation for the final product. The clay, though it may be under pressure, is not being destroyed. It is being refined. It's being prepared to hold something beautiful. In the same way, God is shaping you in the silence. It may feel like there is pressure in your life, as though you are being pressed down, stretched, or shaped in ways that don't make sense. But remember this, God is not crushing you. He is refining you. He is preparing you to carry the weight of His glory, the fullness of His blessings, and the depth of His calling. Each moment of silence is a moment of shaping. Every trial, every waiting season, every moment of discomfort is God's hand molding you, refining your character and deepening your faith. It's also important to remember that the potter doesn't rush the process. The clay doesn't demand to be finished in an instant. It understands that to be shaped into something valuable, it must be patient, must endure the pressure, and trust the hands of the potter. In your life, this process is no different. God knows what He is doing. He knows the plans He has for you, and He knows that in order for you to carry the purpose He has placed on your life, you must go through a time of shaping. Trust the process, for the silence is God's way of preparing you to be the vessel He desires you to be. Now you may be wondering, how long is this stillness going to last? When will I see the movement I've been praying for? Let me encourage you with this truth. The stillness you feel right now is the setup for acceleration. Just as a slingshot must be pulled back in order to release its full power, so too must your life go through a period of tension before the divine release. The feeling of stillness, of tension, is not a sign that God is not moving. It's a sign that He is gathering momentum for the breakthrough. Think of the slingshot analogy. When the tension is released, the force propels the object forward with great speed and power. Your life is no different. The season of stillness is a time of spiritual tension, a time when God is pulling you back to set you up for a great release. You may feel the pressure of waiting, the tension of unanswered prayers, the frustration of things not moving fast enough. But all of this is part of God's divine strategy to prepare you for what's ahead. The greater the tension, the greater the acceleration that is about to come. This is where faith comes in, chosen one. It's easy to get discouraged when nothing seems to be happening, when you can't see the movement or the progress. But I encourage you to keep trusting in God's timing. He is the master of timing, and He knows when you are ready for the release. Every moment of stillness is not wasted. It is God preparing you for something bigger, something greater than what you could have imagined. He's pulling you back to launch you forward. As we come to the end of this section, I want you to hold on to this key takeaway. The waiting season is never wasted. Though it may feel like nothing is happening, trust that God is building something strong within you. He is deepening your roots, strengthening your foundation, and preparing you to stand firm in the face of the blessings that are about to pour into your life. The stillness is where God prepares you to carry the weight of His promises. He is setting you up for divine acceleration. And when the waiting is over, when the silence breaks, you will step into a season of movement like never before. But you must be ready, chosen one. You must be grounded and rooted in Him, because the blessings that are coming will require a strong foundation. So embrace this season of stillness. Don't rush through it. Trust that God is doing something powerful in this waiting period. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it comes, it will be sudden, it will be powerful, and it will be worth every moment of waiting. You are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Stay steady, stay rooted, and keep trusting the process. The shaking will come, and when it does, you will be ready to stand firm in the divine purpose God has set before you. Chosen one, as we journey deeper into the rhythm of divine timing, it's time to understand one of the most powerful moments in the process, the moment when God activates His plan. It's the moment when the silence breaks and the waiting comes to an end. It's the moment when everything that seemed still and quiet suddenly shifts, and the stillness is replaced by undeniable movement. This is the moment of divine activation, the moment when God shakes everything into motion. And though the shaking may seem sudden, it is the confirmation that God is moving powerfully on your behalf. The shaking is not a sign of chaos or destruction. It is the very proof that the divine shift you've been waiting for has arrived. Have you ever noticed how the moment of breakthrough can feel overwhelming? It often comes with a burst of energy, a surge of movement, and a shift that is so undeniable that it can shake you to your core. This is what we call the shaking, the moment when everything you've been waiting for begins to move, and it moves powerfully. The silence ends, and you can feel the ground beneath you tremble. The doors you've been waiting to open burst wide, and opportunities you never thought possible seem to fall into your lap. This shaking is not something to fear. It is the confirmation that God is moving in your life, aligning everything perfectly for your purpose. Think about how a seed grows. When it first enters the soil, it is dark, quiet, and hidden. But as it begins to push through the surface of the earth, the ground shakes. The seed breaks open, the roots grow deeper, and the plant starts to reach toward the sky. The shaking of the soil is not a sign of destruction. It's a sign of growth. It's a sign that life is breaking through. In the same way, when the silence in your life ends, it may feel like everything is shaking. But this shaking is not there to hurt you. It's the sign that God is pushing you into the next season, into the manifestation of everything He has been preparing for you in the quiet. The shaking is a divine confirmation that the time has come. The stillness you once felt was simply the buildup, the tension that was necessary to release what God had stored for you. Now, as things begin to move, trust that the shaking is part of God's plan to propel you into your next level of purpose. It may feel loud and disruptive, but it is God making room for you, rearranging your life to fit the blessings and opportunities that are about to unfold. Just as the earth shakes before a storm or the trees shed their leaves in the fall to prepare for new growth, the shaking in your life is a part of the process of transformation. God does not shake things up just for the sake of chaos. No, He shakes the foundations to make room for something greater. He knows that in order for you to step into the fullness of your divine destiny, you must go through a season of transformation, and that often requires a shaking of everything that no longer serves you. Consider the analogy of a tree in autumn. The tree sheds its leaves, and in doing so, it creates space for new growth. It prepares itself for the spring when it will bloom with fresh leaves and new life. The shaking in your life is like that. It's the shedding of what is no longer needed. It's the clearing away of old beliefs, relationships, and habits that have weighed you down or kept you stuck. In the process of shaking, God is clearing the path for your growth. He is removing the old to make room for the new. Think about the story of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The caterpillar must go through a period of struggle inside the cocoon. The struggle is not pointless. It is necessary for the transformation. The cocoon must be shaken, and through that shaking, the caterpillar emerges as a butterfly, stronger, more beautiful, and ready to fly. The shaking, though uncomfortable, is what enables the caterpillar to reach its new form. In your life, the shaking you are experiencing right now is part of your transformation. God is shaking the old foundations so that you can step into a new season, one that is filled with greater blessings and opportunities. The discomfort you feel is simply the process of growth. You are being prepared for something greater, and just like the tree shedding its leaves or the caterpillar breaking free from its cocoon, you are emerging into a new phase of your life. The Bible is filled with stories of divine breakthroughs that happened after a period of waiting and shaking. Take, for example, the story of Jonah. Jonah's life was completely disrupted when he was swallowed by a great fish. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah was trapped in the belly of the fish in complete darkness and isolation. It seemed like a hopeless situation, but during those days of silence and stillness, God was preparing Jonah for the mission He had called him to. The shaking in Jonah's life, the confinement and the struggle, was God's way of preparing him for the revelation that would lead to the salvation of an entire city. Jonah's breakthrough didn't come in the way he expected, but it came with purpose and transformation. Another example is Sarah, who had waited for decades for the promise of a child. For years, she and her husband Abraham were promised that they would have a son, but the years passed without the fulfillment of that promise. Sarah's waiting season was long and filled with disappointment. Yet in the silence, God was preparing her and Abraham for a miraculous breakthrough. The moment of divine activation came when Sarah was well beyond the age of bearing children, and yet God made a way for her to conceive and give birth to Isaac. The shaking in Sarah's life was not a sign of failure. It was the confirmation that God's promise was about to be fulfilled in a way that could only be explained by divine intervention. Sarah's waiting period led to her purpose being fulfilled, and it transformed not only her life but the course of history. These stories show us that the shaking is not a random event. It is a divine part of God's plan to bring about transformation, revelation, and purpose. What may seem like a disruption or a painful process is actually the necessary step before the breakthrough. The shaking is God's way of preparing us to receive His promises in a way that will bring glory to His name. Chosen one, I want you to understand this clearly. The shaking you are experiencing right now is not destruction. It is a divine confirmation that movement is beginning. It is the signal that everything you have been waiting for is finally coming into alignment. The silence, the waiting, and the tension were all necessary to prepare you for this moment. The shaking is the sign that heaven is moving on your behalf. In the midst of the shaking, trust that God is working for your good. He is making room for the blessings that are coming, and He is preparing you to receive them. The shaking is not meant to harm you. It is meant to strengthen you, to purify you, and to position you for a greater purpose. Just like the tree that sheds its leaves in preparation for new growth, or the caterpillar that struggles in the cocoon to become a butterfly, the shaking is your preparation for something far greater than you could imagine. So when you feel the shaking in your life, don't fear it. Embrace it. Trust that God is using this moment to bring you into your divine purpose. The shaking is the confirmation that the long-awaited movement is beginning. Stand firm, keep trusting, and know that the shaking is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of something new, something powerful, and something that will change your life forever. Chosen one, as you stand at the threshold of your breakthrough, I want you to embrace the shaking you've experienced. What may have felt like chaos, uncertainty, or fear is actually the very confirmation that God has been moving on your behalf. You may have feared the noise, the pressure, and the tension that came with the shaking, but now it is time to recognize it for what it truly is: a divine preparation for the purpose and power that are now being unlocked in your life. The stillness, the waiting, and the shaking were all part of God's perfect timing to position you for what's to come. The silence was never an absence of His presence. It was the space where He was quietly but powerfully equipping you for the next phase of your journey. The shaking was not a mistake, and the silence was not punishment. These moments were not sent to harm you, they were sent to prepare you. The silence you experienced was the divine stillness that held you steady as God rearranged everything around you. He was securing your foundation, making sure you were anchored before He released the abundance that was coming. And now the shaking, though it may have rattled you, has served its purpose. It has revealed what is unshakable within you. The foundation that was once fragile has now been made strong. You are no longer the person you were before the stillness or the shaking. You have been refined, tested, and prepared for the mission ahead. God didn't allow you to experience this quiet season or this shaking without a purpose. In fact, He has been aligning everything to bring you to this very moment, a moment where you are steady, unshakable, and ready to rise. The shaking was the final preparation to help you step into the fullness of your purpose. So I encourage you to look back and see the strength that has emerged from the stillness. The quiet was not empty, it was full of divine activity. The shaking was not destruction, it was refinement. And now that the shaking has settled, you stand firm, not because of anything you've done, but because God has steadied you. He has equipped you to withstand the storms and stand firm on the solid ground of His promises. What is happening now is nothing short of divine activation. You are now unshakable, chosen one. Where once there was uncertainty, there is now clarity. Where once there was tension, there is now peace. You have moved from a season of preparation to a season of manifestation. The shaking has tested you, but it has also revealed the depth of your strength. You are now ready to rise with purpose, knowing that God has equipped you for the mission ahead. The stability you now experience is a direct result of everything God has been doing in the quiet and in the shaking. Think of it like a tree that has weathered a storm. The storm doesn't destroy the tree. It reveals the strength of its roots. It proves that the tree is firmly planted and capable of withstanding anything that comes its way. You are like that tree now rooted deeply in God's love and purpose and standing strong even in the face of life's challenges. It's time to rise, chosen one. The storm has passed and you are still standing, but this time you are standing with purpose, with clarity, and with divine peace that cannot be shaken. You've learned to trust God's process, and now you can walk forward with confidence knowing that He is the one who has steadied you. You have become a beacon of divine peace and strength, a living testimony of what happens when God's power is allowed to work quietly and steadily in your life. As you move into the next chapter of your life, remember that God's process has never failed you. The quiet seasons, the waiting, and the shaking were all tools He used to equip you for the mission ahead. The same God who guided you through the stillness and the shaking is the same God who will lead you forward into your divine purpose. There is no need to rush ahead, no need to force things to happen. God has already gone before you, and He is guiding you step by step. Trust in His process. Trust in the wisdom of His timing. The waiting, the silence, and the shaking were all divine tools used to prepare you for what's coming next. You didn't waste a single moment of that silence. It was building your strength, deepening your roots, and sharpening your discernment. Now, you are fully equipped to step into the fullness of your purpose. Remember, the storm has passed, but the lessons it taught you remain. You've learned to stand firm in the face of uncertainty, to trust in God's timing, and to rely on His strength. These lessons will carry you forward as you rise into your divine destiny. The shaking that once frightened you now serves as a testimony to God's power in your life. The silence that once seemed so heavy now feels like a sacred invitation to step into the life He has planned for you. Chosen one, take a moment to reflect on your own stillness. Think back to the quiet seasons in your life, the times when you felt like nothing was moving, when it seemed as though God was silent. Those moments were not wasted. They were divine preparation for what is to come. God has been setting the stage for your breakthrough, and you are now standing at the threshold of something incredible. The quiet that once felt uncomfortable now carries a new meaning. It was the sacred pause before your divine activation. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning everything for this moment. And now as you rise, you do so with the peace, strength, and clarity that comes from knowing that the waiting was not in vain. So embrace the quiet, chosen one. Embrace the peace that comes after the storm. Know that the shaking has prepared you, and you are now ready to step into your divine purpose. The best is yet to come, and you are ready to rise. Trust in the process, trust in God's timing, and walk forward, knowing that His hand is upon you, guiding you every step of the way. Your breakthrough is here. The shaking has made room for your rise, and now nothing can stop you.